It's 16 minutes to 9, you're with Breakfast. Now, have you ever stood on the sideline of a kids' sporting match and heard these common phrases? Did you see her talent? There's some real potential in that player this year. Or he better not let that talent go to waste. The word talent seems to be everywhere in youth sport, but it's been overused and, more importantly, misused. In the words of author Leigh Ashton, the word talent has a damaging ripple effect on the perceptions, identity, motivations and expectations of young athletes. She wrote a book explaining this concept called The Talent Trap, and she joins us now. Morning, Leigh. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, Ray.
So what prompted you to write this book, The Talent Trap?
Well, I didn't actually set out to be an author. I'm not an author by trade. I worked in the sports industry for many years and been an athlete on the other end. But it was more my experiences leading sport coaching, working with parents, and the same challenges kept coming up. Young people are overloaded. Young people are burning out. The most talented athletes are not working as hard. There's this entitlement creeping in and all these things, and year after year after year after year, the same things. And I was really fortunate in my early career in the sports industry to have some really awesome leaders and mentors. I was based at the Millennium Institute for 6 years, and through my experiences as an athlete and as a young coach, there were so many people weighing in and helping me learn about long-term athlete development and pathways and selection and talent ID and the traps that I just soaked it all up. And it wasn't until I stepped out of the industry with my young children and would have a coffee with someone, and the same challenges would keep coming up, and I'd offer my tips and stories, and they'd say, "Could you write that down for me?" Or one person said, "You should write a book about this, you know heaps." And I was like, "You're right." But sat around the kitchen table, and over time, the more conversations, the more I wrote down, and kind of couldn't hide anymore that I'd been lucky to have this information passed on to me, so I might as well share it with other people.
Just on the back of this book, you say, when we fall into the talent trap, we give immense value to an inconsistent and unreliable predictor of success. What do you mean?
Well, talent is an unreliable predictor. There's very little research and evidence, and I'm not an academic researcher by trade, but there's very little evidence to show that talent accurately predicts success. There's much more reliable predictors in mindset and work ethic and character and values and all of those surrounding skills. And coaches know, like, attitude beats talent, hard work beats talent. Like, the best know it, and yet in youth sport especially, a talented player will come in and all of that stuff goes out the window. Yeah.
I'm really sorry, but we're running out of time. So when we look at what message do you want to send, whether it's to a parent, whether it's to an organisation, whether it's to a coach, whether it's to a young athlete, what is the most important message that you want to send?
Well, athletes are people first, and I think if we can see the broader influences on them and treat them as a person, not just another name on our talent ID list that we're trying to keep or capture or fight with from leaving our sport because we want them to be involved. So that's the main thing for parents and kids, is it's got to be their journey. They're humans, we all are. And for a sports organisation would be to more clearly explain what's important for success. So when we say talent, what do we actually mean? Are we meaning the skills? Are we more meaning the mental, emotional stuff? So trying to use that word less, because everyone has their own interpretation, and just be more clear about what we're trying to work with.
I love that, and you summed it up so well. Leigh Ashton, thank you so much, and her book is called The Talent Trap, and we appreciate you coming in this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
After the break, New Zealand's own chip critic gives her thoughts on the flavours that we've been talking about all morning.